It's so easy to fall into comfort. Being comfortable is like programmed into us, where we just are craving that stability, the comfort, the knowing that we are going to be okay tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be exactly like today, except getting too comfortable can be a very, very bad thing.
While I slip into something a little bit more comfortable.
Unless maybe you're talking about that. When I film a video like this, I'm usually talking directly to myself, or at least a previous version of myself. And in this case, it might even be talking to the current version of myself, because getting comfortable can prevent future progress. And here's what I mean by that is we all have dreams, and we all have the desire to create something great, to be something great, to do something great. But it's always in our heads as, I'm going to do this someday. Someday this is going to happen for me. But the more we advance in our lives, and the more tomorrows that we pile up that become yesterdays, we start to realize that we're not achieving the goals, the desires, and the accomplishments that we set out to achieve. Why is that? My theory, and at least for me, is because I get super damn comfortable. And that comfort prevents me from doing things that might be a little hard, or might be difficult. They're decisions that take that comfort away and replace it with unknown. Now, I've been through a lot of situations where that unknown is thrust upon me, not by choice. And I have to say, I've dealt with it as well as could be expected. But I know that there's more for me, and I know there's more that I have to do. And sometimes when you fall into these habits, I think the best predictor of what tomorrow is going to look like is how today was. So what happened today that's going to make tomorrow great, or advance something that I'm doing, that you're doing, into tomorrow? And so we can pull these goals and accomplishments that we see for our future, but pull them into our present. I think comfort kills that. And I think hard decisions need to be made sometimes, depending on how badly you want to achieve these things that you've set out for yourself. An example is maybe a place where you live. Maybe it's the actual apartment. Maybe it's the home. Maybe it's the city. Maybe it's the state or country that you're in. Wherever the place that you're in could be holding you back from experiencing something that you want to experience. This is just an example. And so instead of saying, someday I'm going to move, someday I'm going to get out, someday I'm going to go experience this, I think the only way that's really going to happen is if you put a solid date on that, and not just in your head and just say, okay, on May 1st, I'm going to do this. Instead, make it so you can't back out of it. You need to say, okay, I'm going to tell my landlord, I'm going to tell my realtor, whatever, that on May 1st, I'm going to be gone. So if you are renting, tell your landlord, say, May 1st, I'm going to be out. I'm giving up my apartment, I'm out. And that is super scary. And that is what holds us back, because we're like, well, I don't want to do that, because what if my thing doesn't work out? Or what if I change my mind and I want to fall back into that comfort? You always have that backup. It could be, it could be a job, same thing, a relationship, same thing. The place where you live, like I mentioned. It could be any number of things. But when we finally say, the first is my last day of whatever it is that you want to change, and then make the commitment for that. And now in your head, you're like, well, crap, now I have to make this happen. I don't have a backup plan. I am in. I am going to succeed at this, or I'm going to fall into some sort of unknown that I'm not prepared for. So succeeding is much easier. So how do you do that? How can you do that for yourself? What are the things in your life where you need to say, I need to put a stop to this on this date so that I can carry forward how I want to live my life? Now that might be a little extreme. You might not have goals like that require such a complete life change. It might be something much more simple. It could be that you are starting to write a book, or you're going to start creating your podcast, whatever it is. Get the subscriptions that you need in order to make that happen. Start paying for it. Say, okay, now I'm in. Now I am paying for this podcast service. I have purchased the equipment that I need. I need to actually start doing this. So any number of things. I'm just giving a kind of extreme examples because that's what resonates with me. But how comfortable are you? How uncomfortable are you willing to be to achieve the things that you want to achieve? You need to ask yourself that question. I need to ask myself that question. And that's partly why I'm doing these videos, so I can get on here, ask myself this question, watch myself ask myself that question, and then take whatever action I need to take, because I tend to get comfortable. And when I'm comfortable, I don't make the decisions I need to make to advance myself further. That's me. What about you? Let me know in the comments. See you next time.